This is Nightline and I'm Muhammed Hamdan, news making the headlines. New COVID cases may hit 15,000 a day as Omicron spreads, says Kyrie. Umrah postponement, government to bear part of losses. Good morning. After the nation's new COVID-19 cases breached the 10,000 mark on Sunday, Health Minister Kyrie Jamaluddin has warned that infections will soon breach the 15,000 mark again. The last time COVID-19 cases exceeded the 15,000 level was on September 18th last year, when 15,549 infections were reported. In a Twitter post, Kyrie said cases would continue to surge, with Malaysia fully into the Omicron wave. He urged people to get their booster vaccination doses as soon as possible. The Health Minister also disclosed that about 1 million senior citizens had yet to get their booster jabs, despite being at a higher risk of developing complications from COVID-19. He asked those with elderly loved ones to get their booster doses without delay. Kyrie added that the main purpose of the vaccine was to reduce the likelihood of developing serious symptoms. With booster doses, according to him, the people will be better protected from serious symptoms that can lead to admissions to the hospital or intensive care units. He warned that the move was necessary as new cases have nearly doubled over the past week, rising from 5,566 infections on February 1st to 10,089 on Sunday. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said only 77 of the cases reported on Sunday were in Category 3, 4 and 5, with the remaining patients exhibiting light symptoms or being asymptomatic. The surge in the number of new infections has raised eyebrows across the nation, as the increase was not gradual as in the past, but sudden. The situation attracted the attention of people from all walks of life, including those in the medical profession. The Omicron wave is coming at a time when the world is becoming accustomed to the pandemic situation in the past 2 years. It is also coming on the back of a lot of positivity generated by high vaccination rates. As in living with COVID-19, many thought that they would be moving into a much more stable situation in 2022. But then it could be a difficult and confusing time when new COVID-19 cases are increasing. And that's at an unimaginable rate, not only in Malaysia but across the world, described as global takeover. Many took to the social media to voice their concerns. Some were even directed to the Health Ministry, including its Minister and Director General. The high infection rate was recorded in various nations, including South Korea, which had over 38,000 cases on Sunday. This prompted some doctors to caution Malaysians that they should not ignore calls to get themselves vaccinated and to get their booster shots as well. Adults are not allowed to enter eateries or shopping malls if they are not fully vaccinated. With this ruling still very much in place, those who are not vaccinated may find it extremely challenging to go about in their daily activities. With the nation's focus on soaring new cases, many have expressed concern over those who are not vaccinated. Some hope that the Health Ministry will provide statistics as to how many of those infected in categories 3 and above have been vaccinated, completed their booster shots, or none at all. The surge in Omicron cases had been predicted, but what is more important is that how is the situation going to be managed? This would also mean that there is a need for serious attention at workplace. There is a dire need for renewed emphasis on COVID-19 protocols. While the new variant is highly transmissible and is infecting huge segments of the population, would employers review activities like in-person meetings, interviews, events and business travel? The Health Ministry expressed hope that Malaysia can weather the Omicron wave with relevant, effective and timely measures, especially when more than 50% of adults have received their booster shots. While many are hoping that the Omicron wave will not prolong, the booster shot drive needs to be ramped up, as the new variant is highly transmissible and is infecting huge segments of the population. Despite its high vaccination rate and booster coverage, some countries where the variant was spreading had reportedly been struggling with hospital admissions and increasing fatalities. This could prompt the Health Ministry and the community to continue to be on high alert and adhere to the protocols. Even the World Health Organization says, quote, "We are all tired of this pandemic, but Omicron is wide awake. And to manage the aggressive Omicron variant, the World Health Body says, get vaccinated, keep a safe distance and avoid crowds, wear a well-fitted mask, keep indoor spaces ventilated, clean hands and cover coughs and sneezes." The government will pay up to 60% of the losses incurred by pilgrims affected by the month-long temporary postponement of Umrah travel imposed since January 8th. Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Dr. Ahmad Marzuki, said the payment would be disbursed by Tabung Haji TH directly to the pilgrims concerned. However, it is still in the final stage of process and is expected to be completed by middle of this month.
Tabung Haji dengan kerjasama Motek dan kerjasama dengan Association kumpulan-kumpulan persatuan umrah ini akan memurnikan senarai jemaah yang benar-benar menanggung kerugian akibat penangguhan selama sebulan itu, dan mereka akan boleh menuntut di tabung haji. Kalau mereka ada akaun tabung haji, lagi senang, terus akan dimasukkan ke akaun mereka.
Dr. Ahmad Marzuki added that the affected pilgrims will be required to go to the nearest TH branch office by bringing the relevant documents such as identity card, visa and also details of their Umrah package. The Bengkala Cepa Member of Parliament also said the move was taken as the government was aware that the affected Umrah pilgrims had suffered some losses in expenses due to postponement, such as for accommodation and other bookings, and therefore had agreed to bear part of their losses. The allocation for the payment was provided by the government through the Finance Ministry. For those leaving for the Umrah pilgrimage this Tuesday, Dr. Ahmad Marzuki advised them to comply with the stipulated standard operating procedures SOP, including wearing face mask and maintaining physical distancing. Meanwhile, Dr. Ahmad Marzuki said the current SOP for congregational prayers in mosques, surau and madrasa have proven to be effective in curbing the spread of COVID-19. He said this could be seen by the fact that no mosque-related clusters have been reported so far, and therefore the existing SOP would also be used for the special Tarawih prayers during the month of Ramadan. However, he also said that if there is a change to the existing SOP in the next 2 months before Ramadan, it will be announced by the government. If this occurs, then it is up to the views of the respective state religious councils to use the SOP effectively. He added the government and the authorities will also intensify monitoring to ensure SOP compliance among congregants based on several incidents that occurred last Ramadan involving clusters of Tarawih groups that did not comply with the SOP. It was previously reported that the Malaysian Islamic Development Department JAKIM did not intend to introduce specific SOP for Tarawih prayers during Ramadan this year and would instead maintain the existing ones in use.
Piala AFF Bawah 23. Semarakkan sokongan anda untuk Harimau Malaya hanya di TV 9.
Now, the government is expected to raise minimum wage by the end of the year. On Saturday, Human Resources Minister Datuk Sri M. Saravanan reportedly said the proposal was awaiting approval from the Cabinet. The minister said although the proposed new minimum wage has yet been finalised, it was expected to be around 1,500 ringgit and below. Now, there are concerns that the new minimum wage, if implemented, will affect the country's economic recovery. It would also have a negative impact on many businesses, especially micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, which are still struggling from the shock brought by COVID-19. To shed more light on the issue, we have with us Malaysian Employers Federation MEF Executive Director Datuk Shamsuddin Bardan. Datuk, what is the level of engagement between the government and employers so far on revising the minimum wage? Are Malaysian businesses ready to implement the new minimum wage? And what are the implications are we looking at here?
MEF representatives sit in the National Minimum Wages Council, and the issue of minimum wages review was raised at the council discussion. MEF had given their views on why the existing minimum wages rates should not be reviewed and the consequences in the event the existing minimum wages are increased to a higher level. Most businesses are trying to recover their businesses that are very much impacted by the pandemic and also the recent floods. Thus, most of the employers are not in a position to absorb any further increase in costs. And of course, in the event the minimum wages is reviewed to a higher level, up to 1,500 ringgit per month, most employers will not be in financial position to absorb the cost. And of course, this may actually lead to some of the employers deciding to cease business, or some of them may actually even have to retrench employees. Worse still, some of the employers may wish to relocate to some other ASEAN countries which may offer better facilities and better cost-effective measures.
It does indeed sound very challenging on the businesses, Dato'. But what are the suggestions or counter-proposal from MEF on the revision of minimum wage?
MEF is of the view that the existing minimum wages should not be reviewed. Instead, the government should introduce measures to encourage the small and medium enterprises, especially the micro enterprises, to embrace technology and higher mechanization so that they can be more productive and more competitive. The government should also train and retrain employees so that they take up higher skill and able to man higher technology as embraced by employers. And of course, in that manner, they will be more productive, and of course, employers will be able then to pay higher wages to more productive employees.
All right, thank you, Dato', for your insights. Moving on, following the upward trend of new COVID-19 cases, the Malacca state government has urged all tourism players and businesses in the state, including hotels and supermarkets, to tighten standard operating procedures (SOP) to curb the spread of the virus. State Tourism, Heritage and Culture Committee Chairman Dr. Muhammad said the move is also to ensure that the premises complied with all rules and operating conditions set by the state government.
Perlu ada temperature punya saringan. Lepas tu of course pendaftaran main sejahtera. Pada masa yang sama dia kena provide dengan kita jadual disinfection dengan cleanliness ni. Maksud dia ada certain jadual. Dia bersihkan premis dia tu dengan disinfection, dengan kuman dan pembersihan.
Datuk Muhammad Jailani said this after the launch of Malacca Coffee Festival 2022 at Bandaraya Malacca on Sunday. He also hoped that tourists visiting the state will adhere to all the SOPs set, including maintaining physical distancing and wearing a face mask to break the COVID-19 chain of infection. And still to come, RTD officer killed in crash while chasing biker. Stay with us. A road transport department RTD personnel was killed in a road accident on the Middle Ring Road MRR2 heading towards the Gombak Toll Plaza on Sunday. The incident happened when the victim was chasing a traffic offender. 30-year-old Muhammad Azizi Azizan was said to be on motorcycle patrol duty with several others when the incident occurred at about 10 a.m. It is understood that the victim chased after the suspect on his motorcycle but later skidded, causing him to fall on the road before he was struck by a car. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene due to severe head injuries. Kuala Lumpur RTD Director Muhammad Zaki Ismail confirmed the incident, adding that the victim's body was sent to Selayang Hospital for post-mortem. Moving on, a Perodua Axia driver who was caught on camera driving against the traffic flow at Jalan Lingkaran Tengah, Taman Tasik Indah in Kluang, Johor has been arrested by police. This after a video of his dangerous act was uploaded on social media and went viral since Saturday, sparking outrage among netizens. District Deputy Police Chief Deputy Superintendent Abdul Raza Abdullah Sani said a 30-year-old local man was believed to have entered the wrong lane when he was driving in the area. Checks also confirmed that the individual was not driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs based on his urine test. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. If convicted, he faces up to 5 years in jail and a maximum 15,000 ringgit fine. South Korea crosses 1 million COVID-19 infections. This and more after the break. Onto the foreign front, Lata Mangeshkars, one of India's biggest cultural icons and a singer who defined music and melody for generations of her countrymen, died on Sunday at the age of 92. The singer was cremated with full state honours in Mumbai's Shivaji Park on Sunday. The government also declared 2 days of state mourning as a mark of respect for the legendary singer. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended her funeral at Mumbai's Shivaji Park and paid tributes to the singer. The mega star had been admitted to Mumbai's Breach Candy Hospital on January 8th after she was diagnosed with COVID-19 and pneumonia. Though having recovered from COVID-19, the singer was put on ventilator support after her condition worsened on Saturday. Born in 1929 in pre-independence India, Mangeshkars began singing in her teens and, in a career spanning 73 years, sang more than an estimated 15,000 songs in 36 languages. Morocco was still in shock on Sunday after emergency crews found a 5-year-old boy dead at the bottom of a well in a tragic end following a lengthy rescue operation that captivated global attention. Jubilation at the news that Ryan Oram had finally been freed soon gave way to sorrow when his death was confirmed by King of Morocco, Muhammed VI. The king also said he had been following the developments of this tragic accident closely and had issued instructions to all the concerned authorities to take the necessary measures and make the utmost effort to save the life of the deceased. Tributes poured in the wake of the news that the rescue efforts had failed to recover Ryan alive. In a Facebook post, French President Emmanuel Macron expressed his condolences to the family. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, Vice President of the United Arab Emirates and ruler of Dubai, offered his condolences to Ryan's family. The ordeal of little Ryan since he fell down on Tuesday gained global attention and sparked an outpouring of sympathy online. Throughout the three-day operation to extricate the boy named Ryan from the bottom of the 32-meter well shaft, authorities had cautioned that they did not know whether he was alive. The United States intelligence assessments say Russia is stepping up preparations for a large-scale invasion of Ukraine and has now put in place 70% of the forces it would need for such an attack. According to officials, Russia has assembled 110,000 troops along its border with Ukraine, but U.S. intelligence had not determined if President Vladimir Putin has actually decided to invade. The officials warned lawmakers that the assembled Russian force on the frontier with Ukraine is growing at a rate that would give Putin the force he needs for a full-scale invasion, some 150,000 soldiers, by mid-February. Instead, the officials said Putin wants to have all possible options at his disposal, from a limited invasion of the pro-Russian Donbas region of Ukraine to a full-scale, all-out invasion. However, the Kremlin denies that it is planning to invade Ukraine. Authorities said if Russia does opt for a full-scale attack, the invading force could take the capital Kyiv and topple President Volodymyr Zelensky in a matter of 48 hours. South Korea on Sunday has surpassed 1 million cumulative COVID-19 cases since the pandemic began, as the country reported a daily record of 38,691 new infections driven by an Omicron variant outbreak. According to health officials, daily cases are nearly 5 times higher than 2 weeks ago when the Omicron variant began to dominate. However, serious infections have remained at manageable levels so far. Besides, deaths have remained low in the highly vaccinated country, but with 15 new deaths reported as of midnight Saturday. Thus, officials on Friday has announced they would extend social distancing measures for at least another 2 weeks, including a 9 p.m. curfew on businesses and a 6-person limit for private gatherings. After this short break, PSV loses to AZ due to goalkeeping blunder. Sports. Robert Lewandowski scored his 24th goal in 21 games to help Bayern Munich stretch its Bundesliga lead to 9 points with a 3-2 win over visiting RB Leipzig. Thomas Müller opened the scoring in the 12th minute, finishing off the rebound after Peter Gulacsi saved Lewandowski's initial effort. Andre Silva equalised for the visitors 13 minutes later before Lewandowski restored Bayern's lead in the 44th minute. Konrad Laimer set up Christopher Nkunku for the equaliser in the 53rd minute with a brilliant through ball. Bayern answered again 5 minutes later though when Josko Vardiol deflected Serge Gnabry's cross into his own net. And still on football, PSV were unable to hold on to their lead and have now suffered back-to-back defeats in the Eredivisie. This time, a 2-1 home loss by AZ Alkmaar. PSV started the game on top and they deservedly had the lead in the 19th minute as Armando Obispo headed in a Cody Hakpo corner. AZ then drew level when Owen Wendell picked out Bruno Martins Indi, who was free in the box to fire past Yvonne Mbogo. At the hour mark, Aaron Zahavi and Jorbe Vertessen appeared from the bench as PSV went in search of the victory, but the goal came for AZ Alkmaar. A long ball forward was misjudged by Mbogo and the ball bounced over his head and to the feet of Jesper Karlsson, who easily found the net. PSV pushed for an equaliser, but AZ stood firm to take the 3 points. And on to Beijing Winter Olympics, Russian skier Alexander Bolshunov pulled away from the pack early to win gold in a 30-kilometer skiathlon. Bolshunov, the World Cup points leader in distance races, grabbed a Russian Olympic Committee flag in the final stretch and waved it in the air as he crossed the finish line in 1 hour, 16 minutes. Bolshunov and Ivo Niskanen of Finland led the race through the first 4 classic ski laps, but Russia's Denis Spitsov passed Niskanen once they were on the freestyle legs. Spitsov stayed out front and secured the silver 1 minute 11 seconds behind Bolshunov. Niskanen held on for the bronze 2 minutes back. And that's it for Nightline this time around. As we wrap up, we leave you with this footage of a giant snow igloo which amazes visitors in Kashmir, India. Set up by a local group of hotels and on the lawns of its property. The igloo is 14 meters wide and 11 meters high, which can accommodate about 40-odd diners. Take a look. I'm Muhammed Hamdan. Thank you for tuning in and stay safe, Malaysia.